Hi guys, Going Green Mom here with another Foodie Friday. Today we are going to be making Brussels sprouts. And believe it or not, this is another kid tested and approved recipe. I started making copycat Brussels sprouts from a place called The Crooked U in South Bend, Indiana. It is a brewery that has a restaurant. And last I knew, they also have a family room that they just opened before everything happened last year. So if you're in the area, they are very attentive to food sensitivity issues. Everything on the menu, with the exception of dishes saying they are served with bread, are gluten-free. And obviously, all you have to do is ask them to leave the bread off. And the others will be as well. And they've even called people to make sure what's in certain recipes and who made it, and to make sure that the person making it had followed the recipe before. So if you have any questions, just ask their wait staff. They have always been incredibly awesome every time I've been there. And I have a lot of sensitivities, you guys. So they have always been very helpful with that. So basically, their version is Brussels and pork belly. They do shred the Brussels sprouts this way, and obviously they use pork belly to make theirs. Now, for my home version, when I was making it straight from that, trying to make it similar, I was using bacon because that's more readily available in my local supermarket. But now I am off pork. So when I went off pork, the kids were still asking for this recipe. And so I just altered it and left the pork out and started doing it with ranch and butter. When I was using bacon, I was also using butter as well as leaving the bacon grease in. And that turned out really well. So I just left this as a vegetarian dish when I make it now. And last night when I was planning on making it, I was going to put it alongside meatballs. You could cook a roast, and it's really a side dish is what it started as. And we like it. So we have a tendency to make it in quantity while other things are cooking, and then we eat all of this, and then we're not hungry to eat the other stuff. So it turned into a main dish for us. Since we went to ranch and butter instead of having any meat in it, it's sort of back as a side dish, but it's still not something we actually sit down and eat that and something else at the same time. We'll eat something else with protein in it a couple hours later. So anyway, totally beside the point. We are basically cleaning the outer leaves, any bug damage or stale stems off of these Brussels sprouts. Obviously, if you have Brussels sprouts from the garden, that's the freshest you're going to get. I get these from Aldi's, and they are very good to work with. Most places around here don't sell stalks of Brussels sprouts. That's also another option. A little bit harder to deal with, but if you can get your hands on them, that would be good too. And I must put in this disclaimer that you should not remove your safety guards from your mandolins. You should probably be wearing Kevlar gloves or some sort of gloves to help you not cut yourself. You can also do this with a chef's knife on a cutting board. You're basically, I've shown you at one point about the size of thicknesses. With a knife, I'm not quite this thin, and it takes a whole lot longer to actually get it done. So the mandolin is fast and easy, so that's what I do. And what can I say? I'm careful when I do this. Please don't worry that I cut myself. I've never cut myself on this mandolin. I do know that it's hazardous to do. I have had a friend that cut herself quite badly on a mandolin at work one time, so do as I say, not as I do. Anyway, you need to get your Brussels sprouts to some sort of a shredded sort of consistency where it's in thin slices. I find it easier to do compact Brussels sprouts that are pretty dense, stem end first, and then if there's more space between the leaves, do them with the tops first and the finish with the stems because it cuts cleaner. And then you're going to take about 1/3 of a stick of butter and put it in a pan, get it heated up, medium-high heat. Medium-high, medium. I don't know. This has a 1 through 5 scale and it's on a 3. So when I pulled the packet of ranch mix out, which is the better option for histamine intolerance issues because all of the contents are dry, so it doesn't facilitate the reaction that causes histamine, I found that it is no longer a gluten-free mix. So you will see me using the container of regular ranch because that is gluten-free. Brussels sprouts, I do not believe are high lectin. I do believe they are high sals. If you need that information. They are a brassica. So they have a lot of similar properties as like broccoli or cabbage do. As I mentioned, I am cooking this on medium-high heat. I basically just got everything coated with the butter and ranch and put the lid on and kind of let it steam in there under its own juices, I guess you could say. I don't really find the need to add a whole lot of salt and pepper to this because there is some salt in the ranch. However, you are welcome to salt and pepper this to your heart's content. You're basically looking for a texture where everything is cooked. You'll have a little bit more bite from the stems, but the outsides won't be mush. And it's just a nice sort of, I don't know, I kind of think of it as a warm, like, coleslaw mix. But it's yummy and a lot of ranch flavor to it, as well as buttery. So it kind of has a creaminess. Lunch is ready.